All right, back at you guys with another interesting video today. Now, everybody is bearish on real estate right now. It's bearish. Real estate's bearish. I don't think anybody is out there saying that prices are going to go up in the next 3 months. Pretty much everybody, even the realtors, are short-term bearish right now. That being said, let me show you this. So this is the cost of building a home in the US, right? So you've got your site work, foundations, framing, exterior, and this is specifically the cost of construction, right? So they don't have land, realtor fees. I don't think they have taxes in here and all of these things, right? So the average cost of construction in the US is $428,000. Meanwhile, the average sale price, I'm assuming of these homes, are $665,000. Now, they're saying construction is about 65% of the sale price. Obviously, the developer is not getting a 35% bump on that sale, right? I mean, I think Toll Brothers or D.R. Horton or one of those big American builders recently came out and they said that they typically get about a 19% margin. And right now they're at like 11% or something like that for their homes. So it's definitely not a 35% margin, right? There's some more costs in between these two numbers, right? But if we take a look at those costs currently in CAD, it costs $640,000 Canadian to build a home. Now, that being said, I think the US has higher wages, right? Like I think it's about 30% higher in the States. So, I mean, if you go back and you take a look at this picture, and back when I was plumbing, there was some jobs where 80% of the job cost was material. And then there was other jobs where it was like 20% of the job cost was material. So let's just average out and say of these costs, 50% of it is labor and their labor is 30% more expensive. So that means that, basically $214,000 would be labor and their labor is 30% more expensive. So that means you can shave basically 149. Hold on, that's not right. You would shave times 0.3, $64,000 off the total cost of construction because their labor is cheaper, right? These are very rough numbers once again. Now, the average sale cost or the average sale price of a house in the US that's new construction, according to this, would be $957,000 Canadian minus that. What did we say? $70,000 minus $70,000 because their labor is more expensive. You're still looking at $887,000 average sale price for a new construction home. And if we look at the average cost of a home in Canada right now, it's $713,000. So you guys want to know why new home sales in Toronto are down 90% from their averages? Well, it's probably because the cost to build homes far exceeds the prices that you can actually get for selling these homes. So when we talk about the real estate market, short-term bearish, I'm short-term bearish. I think prices will probably keep going down, right, for the foreseeable future here. But when we talk about where's the market going long-term, well, it costs according to this, $887,000 when you sell one of these homes. Now, some people say, well, the developers are making too much money. Well, currently they're making about 11% profit margin in the States, right? I don't think too many developers are going to be launching projects when the profit margin is 11%, right? I think, most developers probably want to see at least 15%. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but anything less than that, and it starts getting pretty scary to launch a project at those margins. So what happens? They just don't launch projects. And you're seeing that right now in the housing starts, right? Housing starts are ridiculously low in comparison to where they've been in the past. And the thing is, the more housing prices continue to drop, the less projects are going to be launched. And you guys have heard me say this, quite a few times on this channel. When we get into 2027 onwards, there is very little new inventory completing. 2028 onwards, there's basically nothing. And although immigration has slowed down considerably, it's still happening, right? The population is still growing. And if there's no new homes getting built, and by 2028, when there's an extra 1.2 million people living here and there's no new homes, that creates upward pressure on prices. Now, again, just because the cost to build is $885,000 or whatever, doesn't mean that prices can't go lower, right? I don't subscribe to that ideology. You guys saw me do the video on like markets get oversold. Just because this is the cost to build doesn't mean that a house can't be $600,000 just because it costs $885K to build it. But at some point over a long enough time frame, when there is no new supply coming to market and people still coming to the country, that is going to have to lift up that $600K price closer to, the sale price of a new construction home so developers can start building new inventory. Now, most of the videos that I put on this channel are negative and I talk about prices going down, right? And although that's the case, I still believe that 5 years from now, the prices are going to be higher. I think we have volatility we need to get through. I think we're entering some pretty tough times. But again, it comes down to supply and demand. And if we're not building anything, eventually we're going to feel that. Unless Canada gets so bad that nobody immigrates here or a bunch of people that already live here end up leaving, which is a possibility. But that being said, we still have fresh water, clean air, or clean water, fresh air. And it's mild weather here. So I still think that people are going to want to live in Canada regardless of what the economy is doing. And maybe the immigration slows down a lot. Maybe we have a couple years of stagnant growth or negative growth, but I still think 5 years out, somehow, some way, the prices are going to be higher. Now, if you want to chat with me about buying or selling real estate, there is a link down in my description. You can book a time to chat with me. Otherwise, I just appreciate you for watching my content. Please do like and subscribe. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.